Int. Small town auto shop. Day. The whir of tools and soft rock hums in the background. Grease-streaked posters hang crooked. A mechanic, 50s, weathered but kind, wipes his hands on a rag. A woman, 30s, timidly enters with her son, 8, who's in a broken wheelchair. Woman. Hi, I know this isn't a wheelchair repair shop, but someone said you might be able to help. We can't afford the parts right now. Mechanic kneeling down to inspect the wheelchair. Let's take a look. Huh. These things are just machines with a different kind of horsepower. The mechanic grins at the boy. The boy offers a shy smile. The mechanic starts working, tightening, replacing, improvising. After a few minutes, the wheels spin smoothly. Mechanic grinning. Good as new. Maybe even better. Woman teary. We can't thank you enough. How much do we owe? Mechanic waving her off. You don't owe a thing. Just tell him to keep rolling forward. Scene 2. The surprise. Ext. Auto shop. 3 days later, morning. A private jet flies low overhead, odd for a town like this. The mechanic steps outside, squinting. Moments later, a sleek black SUV pulls up. A suited driver steps out and walks over. Driver. Are you Mr. Thomas Ray? Mechanic. Mechanic wary. Yeah, who's asking? Driver handing him an envelope. My employer would like to meet you. He was very touched by what you did for his son. Mechanic puzzled. His son. The driver gestures to the SUV. The boy from earlier smiles and waves from the back seat. The woman sits beside him, dressed more elegantly now. Scene 3. The offer. Int. Private jet. Moments later. Thomas sits nervously, a bit out of place among the polished interior. A man in his 40s, sharp-suited and calm, walks in, the boy's father. Father. Thomas Ray, you fixed my son's wheelchair when no one else would. That simple act of kindness, well, it meant everything. Mechanic. Didn't do it for anything. Just figured he needed a hand. Father. Exactly why I'd like to offer you something. I own a chain of automotive centers across the country. How would you feel about running one? Full salary, full team, your own shop, anywhere you want. Thomas sits, stunned. Slowly, a smile spreads across his face. Mechanic choked up. I just fixed a wheel. Father, you fixed more than that. They shake hands. Outside, the jet engines hum, ready to lift someone else up. Fade out. Title card. Kindness is a wheel, it always comes back around. 3 days had passed since the wheelchair repair, and Thomas Ray was back at his usual routine, head down, hands black with grease, elbow deep in a stubborn carburetor. The morning sun glinted off the hood of a half-restored Mustang parked out front. His radio crackled through another classic rock tune, and the familiar solitude of the shop felt comforting. He didn't expect much from life anymore. Just a few cars to keep running, a pot of stale coffee on the counter, and the occasional small-town conversation. Then he heard it, a low rumble that wasn't like the usual crop duster or passing delivery van. He paused, listening. The sound grew louder, smooth, powerful, constant. He stepped out from under the hood, wiping his hands on a rag, and looked up at the sky just in time to catch the silhouette of a private jet slicing through the air overhead. Its silver body gleamed in the morning light. It dipped lower than expected, angling toward the small airstrip on the outskirts of town. Fancy bird, he muttered to himself. Shrugging it off, he walked back toward the workbench when the crunch of tires on gravel caught his ear. He turned around to see a sleek black SUV turning into his lot, clearly not from around here. The windows were tinted, the paint so polished it reflected the surroundings like a mirror. It rolled to a smooth stop in front of the garage, engine barely audible. The driver's side door opened, and a sharply dressed man in a dark suit and sunglasses stepped out. Clean-cut, professional, looked like someone who belonged in an airport lounge, not a dusty roadside shop. He closed the door with a gentle thunk and walked over with a calm, deliberate pace. Mr. Thomas Ray, the man asked, voice measured, polite. Thomas squinted. Depends. Who's asking? The man reached into his jacket and pulled out an envelope, thick, cream-colored, unmarked. He extended it toward Thomas. I represent someone who'd like to thank you in person, he said. For what you did earlier this week. Thomas hesitated before taking the envelope, then furrowed his brow. You mean the wheelchair? Yes, the man replied with a small nod. That act of kindness didn't go unnoticed. Before Thomas could respond, the rear window of the SUV rolled down with a soft whir. He glanced over and saw a familiar face, Leo, the boy in the wheelchair, grinning from ear to ear. He waved excitedly. Sitting beside him was the woman, his mother, but she looked different. Dressed neatly now, her hair done up, posture calm and confident. It wasn't money that made the difference, it was dignity, like a burden had been lifted. Thomas blinked, confused but smiling. Well, I'll be. The driver stepped aside and gestured toward the SUV. If you'd be willing, they'd like you to come with us. It's a short ride. Thomas raised an eyebrow. Where are we going? Back to the pharmacy. The man smiled faintly. Not quite. The jet's waiting. The what now? The SUV door opened fully, and Leo leaned forward. Mr. Thomas, you gotta come. My dad wants to meet you. Thomas looked at the boy, then at the jet now parked in the distance, just visible past the edge of the road. You're kidding, he muttered. No, sir, the driver said. His father owns several companies. Let's just say, he doesn't forget the people who help his family. Thomas stared for a moment, the weight of confusion, disbelief, and curiosity settling in. He glanced down at his oil-stained hands, then at his cluttered shop. Do I need a tie or something? The man gave the slightest chuckle. No, sir. He prefers people exactly as they are. Thomas exhaled slowly, then gave a slight nod. Well then, let's go see what this is all about.